the recording. So welcome to my channel. Thank you to Scrapbooking with Me Boutique, who are our moderators tonight. We have Tammy, Christine, and Denise, who have been modded, and then if Edith shows up, Tammy can mod her too. So thank you, ladies, for helping me out with this. They have done a fantastic job at marketing this kit, so please, I will put a link down below for everyone who's recording to their store so that you can buy the next kit. The August kit is up for sale right now. I think there are limited left. I think there were only like 8 left last time I checked, so it's probably less than that now. A link to that will be on my blog this week. And we are going to go mixed media with the next kit because we've had some people show some interest in gelatos and learning how to use those. So we're going to do some fun things next time. Okay. Well, when you see Edith, just make her a moderator, okay? I modded you again, Tammy. Okay, so for tonight's kit, we have some wood veneers from Studio Calico. These are called the, what were they called? Lemon something or another, I don't remember. Okay, the name's not on the packaging. I wish that they would put them on there, but Tammy has a complete supply list and she can tell you what they are. So we have these. And then we also have these little birds from Fab Scraps, which are chipboard. And we have a stamp from Kaiser Craft, and this is called 36, because there's a giant 36 up here. And then we also have these petaloo flowers and butterflies, and these are called burlap blossoms, ivory. And any of these, like this type of stuff that you want that's in the kit that you'd like extra, just let Tammy and them know. We have some seam binding. Everybody's seam binding was a little bit of a different color, but that's okay. We'll find a way to use it. It all matches. And then we also have these little words. So cute. This is from the Authentique line. This is Petite Diction from the Harmony collection. And in that pack there was also a set of Alpha stickers. Am I showing eye candy too? You're talking about all of this? And then also have Fab Scraps, beautiful, this is like a fence. I'm not sure what you mean by eye candy. This is the kit that we're working with tonight. So this is Authentique's Harmony Collection, which is super gorgeous. Super gorgeous. So we're going to use this page as our main base page tonight. I just love this. I love the the little bird and all the flowers. This reminds me of the old school scrapbooking we used to do a while back. So it's really nice to go back. And then we're also going to use, these are some stickers that came in the collection. It has some nice phrases and quotes. And then we have this page. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my goodness, I just am in love with this paper. Look at how gorgeous it is. And if I don't use it all tonight, you'll see some projects of me using these. Some beautiful birds. Look at that. Now the thing I like about this collection is the motifs are large on one side and then small on the other side. So it's pretty much the same motif on both sides. So you have the big pattern and then the smaller pattern. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks like wallpaper. And it feels, this paper has a really nice watercolor texture to it. Do we have any of these kits left over? Then this one has small butterflies, and then it also has the larger butterflies on here. And then this one's called Beauty. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Botanic. Beautiful. This one's Vitality. Gorgeous. And there's little doilies printed in that. And there's another sticker sheet here with another alpha set here. Lots of beautiful quotes. Love. Ha ha. Love. In the Garden of Thought, Cultivate Harmony, which is so cool because that's written up here in the top. And then this is Song. Gorgeous. You know what would be beautiful with this paper, and I did not think about it, but I don't have it, but I'm probably going to end up buying it. Dynamite Dyes has a new dye that is a bird on a wire, and it would be so beautiful with this paper collection. That's a plug for Dynamites. Look at the feathers, isn't that gorgeous? Then we have this one. This one's called Nature. And then that's the back side of it. And this is kind of a coral color. The camera is probably not doing it justice. So that's what was in the kit. Now I'm going to tell you what I pulled out that is outside of the kit. Let me put all this away before I mess it up. So in addition to the kit, I have also pulled out some products that I probably might not use all of, but these are, Tammy just put these in the store. These are from Stampendous, and they're called Frantage embossing powder, which is a super thick embossing enamel, and it has chunky embossing powder and glitter in it. So we may use that, I don't know, we may not, but I pulled it. And then I've also pulled out from last month's kit. I had a few pieces left over, and I'm not sure if they'll work or not, but you know, when I'm encouraging you guys, when you have stuff in your stash, use it. So I've pulled out, they had been married for 40 years, so I have the 40 here. And then I also have the word love. And then I also have this little wood veneer piece that says love this. I don't know if I'll use these, but these are from last month's kit. So if you have last month's kit, all of these things were in that kit. I've also pulled out some tissue paper. This is just standard white tissue paper. I've pulled out some bubble wrap. I have a watercolor set here. All of these things can be found locally in your department stores. Then you can also find these in the store. I got these from Scrapbooking with Me. This is a stencil from the Crafters Workshop. It's called Mini Gothic Romance. Look at that. It's so gorgeous. We used it in the last Ustream. And then I also have this one, Mini Specimens, which has this group of butterflies on it. So I thought this would be great for this kit too. And then also I just got these from the boutique as well. These are Stampendous stamps. A lot of you guys ordered these, so I thought it felt pretty safe for you guys to use this. So I've pulled out these 3 stamp sets. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but if I do, I will definitely put them in my follow-up post. In addition to these, I've also pulled out some Prima chalks, and I've also pulled out, I just have this little container full of die cuts from Dynamite Dyes. They have a lot of botanical dyes, so that's really all they sell. So I use them a lot, and when I have scraps, I just go ahead and cut them out. So if whichever ones I use, I will let you know. But look at that butterfly, isn't it gorgeous? And I also have quite a few of these. This one's called the Flowering Branch. So, and then the spring doily is in here. Again, I don't know what all I'll use, so I don't want to highlight it until I use it. But I do, whenever I'm making a project, this is what I do. This is my thought process. I go through my stash and I pull out all of the things that I think may work. So that's where I'm at with that. I've also pulled out some whip spackle from Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft. If you guys are not familiar with this, this is a very nice product, and we are going to have it in the next kit. So you're definitely going to want to buy that next kit. I've pulled out some gel medium, and I've also pulled out some gesso. And then I just have a little room key from my favorite hotel ever. To use, and I've also pulled out, I've got an archival ink pad handy, and I've also pulled out this roller stamp from Glitz, and this is what it looks like. Again, I don't know if I'll use them, but I have them handy. These are all things, look in your stash and pull out whatever stamps you have that have repeated patterns, because that will work. And I've also pulled out a little bit of cheesecloth. Okay, so now let's get started. We've got a full night ahead of us. My idea with this was, like I said at the beginning of the show, my mother-in-law had a little ceremony the other day. My father-in-law passed away a year ago around the 4th of July. So we had a little party. I'm using gel medium right now, and I'm just mixing it up really well, and I'm going to pour it right onto a prep 12 by 12 canvas. Okay, and if you guys don't want to do this as a layout, you certainly could. You don't have to use the canvas. It just happens to be something that I wanted to do as a gift. And whenever I give away layouts like this as a gift, I like to make them so that they can be hung on the wall. So I'm just going to prep this entire surface with this gel medium. So while I talk, so anyway, she had this little ceremony where she had gotten some butterflies and we released them, and I happened to capture a photograph of her with a butterfly on her finger. So I wanted to paint this canvas up and give it to her as a gift to hang in her room. Now all of this that is left over, that is on my mat, because I've put way too much on here, way too much. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop it. I keep recycled packaging. These are like blister packs. I'm just going to push all of this off onto this blister pack because it will get used tonight. So does anybody have any questions about the kit? I'm not sure if there are any kits left over, but if you're interested in them, please ask Tammy. And once again, thank you to the boutique for sponsoring this event, and for all the girls there have been so amazing about promoting this class. And they have also been creating projects with our class kits. So if you're looking for more inspiration on what to do with these products, please check out the blog and the group, the Facebook group, and Tammy can drop a link there. If you're watching this in a recording, the links will be down in the description below. Okay, so I've got this covered and it's pretty gooey. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my papers, and I think I want a collection of all of them. So I'm going to start with this feather one, and I'm just going to rip off a section. Don't have a heart attack. Ripping is good. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip it and place it down. Okay, and then I have let's see. If you don't want those harsh lines showing, just rip it into pieces and just place it around. We'll squeegee it down in just a minute. Now I'm going to grab another piece. I love this one with the birds and the this one is so gorgeous, isn't it? But I know I want to fussy cut this bird out, or this butterfly out. So I'm going to hang on to like maybe doing the top of this. I'm going to rip this top part off. Just rip it. And this is going to give us a lot of texture. Okay? We're basically decoupaging this onto this canvas. And this paper is amazing for this type of thing because it has so many luscious pieces to it. Okay? Let's pull this back a little bit. And don't worry about it if those don't stick down, it's just added texture. That matte medium is going to hold this stuff no matter what. We're just going to keep applying pressure to it, and then we'll come back over it in just a minute. Now let's go on to another one. What about this one with the birds? Really like this one. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to rip it. Oh, wait. Let's do this. Let's move this down over here. And maybe put this between them. We may have to pull out another piece. Wait, let's pull this off just a little bit. I don't mind that that's even, but let me pull off another sheet of paper. We'll come back to that one in just a minute. We need something with another color. Maybe these, oh, maybe this yellow. This yellow would be pretty. What are you guys thinking? Rip towards you gives you white. Ripping away from you, like I did here, gives you a clean edge. So yes, you're right, Tammy. Good tip. If I was a teacher, I'd have told them that. Ha! Just kidding. Let's see. We might need a little more of this matte medium. Things are not quite, I think it's glue, it's drying over here. It's not going to come up, I promise you. When we're done with this, it isn't going anywhere. Don't worry if things don't immediately line up. It's okay. When we're done adding layers and layers of paint and stuccoing everything and adding our matte medium and our gesso and all of that, we're really not going to see much of what's going on here in the background. It's going to be a lot of color underneath. It's going to be like layers of color and pattern. That's what we're adding. So, you know, and I'm pretty rough with my brushes, so you'll see me really working this brush, and that's okay. I buy cheap brushes for my gel mediums like this because, I'm not going to use this really rough bristled brush to do fine art painting, you know. Not that I do a whole lot of that anyway, but it's, I'm not going to use a really nice expensive watercolor brush to deal with matte medium. And like I said, we're just looking for patches of color. Most of this is going to get covered up anyway. Normally I have this type of work done, but honestly, I had no idea where I was going to go with this until this afternoon when I started looking at my pictures from this past weekend. And I got inspired. So you guys get to go on this creative journey with me tonight. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Oh, this gel medium, it takes forever for it to really dry. I love it because it does give you an awesome amount of time to get in there and really work with it. And you know what, guys? I love to finger paint with it because when you finger paint, you don't get brush strokes. Of course, then you'll see me over here with the baby wipe. There's some kind of little rock thing in there. I don't know what that is. You'll see me in here with a baby wipe. Now, notice what I'm doing. I'm trying not to let two patterns touch each other. I'm trying to keep it where they, don't overlap too much. Okay, so I have, where's that bird? Let's go back to our birds. Now, let's see if I can put maybe a little bit of this bird right here in the center. See, I told you I'd use up all that gel medium on that palette. Make sure it's going in the right direction. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit. That will be fine. Now, on this bird one, I also have, on the back, I have this beautiful coral color. So we'll add that right here. This paper is so divine. It literally has this watercolor texture to it that is amazing. I love it. How many people got the kit that's here tonight? This is matte. I only use matte. I never use gloss. I'm not a fan of shiny stuff. I'm sorry. Other than the gold kick I've been on lately, I typically stick with matte products. This is a gel medium made by Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft. Yes, we'll put that there. And notice that I'm putting the matte medium on the bottom as well as the top. And what that's going to do is seal in, I don't want to cover the little bird's face up. That's going to seal in that paper and make it a non-porous surface. Okay, now I have a hole here and here, so I'm thinking another spot of yellow might be good over there. So let's just add oops. Anybody else have any other questions while I'm looking at the camera? Or I mean at the computer? You didn't get it. You didn't get the kit? I'm sorry. You should see if it's still available because it's an amazing kit. Although you just bought jeans for everybody in your house, so you're probably broke. I would be. We just did that the other day. We went shopping and spent a bunch of money on clothing. I don't like that. Okay, I've got a little bit of a hole right here, and I'm thinking, let's see, we've got a lot of birds. I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to cover up a lot of this with gesso and all of that. So I think we're pretty good with this now. I do have a couple of air bubbles, so I'm just going to lift that up before it has a chance to dry and make sure I've got a lot of matte medium there and over the top. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. Now to make it all work together. And I'm going to throw all these little pieces of scrap in the trash for now. There's a lot of color going on here. And now we need it all to play nice in the same arena. So what I'm going to suggest is, oh wait, I can't let this go in the trash. This is in the branding bar. It's this beautiful quote, and it says, in your garden of thought, cultivate harmony. So let me think. I'm going to build a cross here in the center of my layout, so I don't want to put it there. But what about down here across the bottom? That's a perfect spot for it. So pay attention to your branding strips because sometimes there's a gold mine there. Sometimes there's some really nice quotes in there, or the title of the paper collection could be used again. I do that a lot. Okay, and also like this little guy was in there, so he'll go nicely right there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. That looks really nice. I'm gonna just kind of burnish that down. It's on that edge of that canvas, so I need it to kind of stay put. Now, any place that feels like it's lifting, I'm going to come back over with the matte medium one more time. Like I said, you don't have to be super careful with this because by the time you add so many layers to this, you're never going to notice. Okay, so let's move on to the gesso. Now, I am going to hit this with an entire I'm going to hit this entire thing with gesso. But before I do this, what I want to do is I have this tissue paper, and I am going to cut pieces of this tissue paper, and I am going to crinkle it up. like I said, giant mess. Okay, and I'm going to build a cross right here. Probably covering up my... Now, there's matte medium on my board right now. So the matte medium is going to hold that down. Or, excuse me, I'm calling it matte medium. It's gel medium, which is matte. It's just Faber-Castell's name for it. I'm going to add a generous amount of this, and then see how I'm hitting over the top of that tissue. What this is doing is it's still going to allow it to be transparent, but it's going to give me some nice texture. But it's also going to be my landmark of where I don't want to cover up too much, because I want to, my thought of this was, you know, when I thought about, you know, my kids called him Popsy. When I thought about him, you know, there's, you know, heaven. When I thought about heaven, my imagery that came to mind was a cross. So what I wanted to do was to take this tissue paper and let it symbolize the cross. So I'm crinkling it because I want some texture. But notice that it's not covering up too much of that pattern. I can still see it through the tissue paper. And I'm just using the matte medium to glue that down. But look at all that luscious texture that we're getting from that. This is a 12 by 12 canvas. And you know what, guys, if you didn't want to do this on a canvas, like I said at the beginning of the show, I plan to give this away. So because I plan to give this away, I want her to be able to hang this on the wall. So I really wanted to do it on a canvas so that she would have something to hang it on. If you didn't want to do it on a canvas, you could also use recycled cardboard, or you know, like a box that you cut to 12 by 12. But I think a canvas is just really pretty. You could also do the same technique with paper. Just use a heavy chipboard as your base. Okay, so now I have my cross here in the center, and I went all the way to the edge on this side, but I don't think I want to. Now I'm going to pull this up. I think I just want it to be to about right there. And the same thing on this side. I don't think I want to go all the way to the edge. It's okay if there's some tissue paper there. It's okay. Okay, so see how I have this luscious texture in here now? Isn't that gorgeous? Chipboard. I don't have a piece sitting here, so I can't show you. But yes, you could do this on chipboard. Okay. I have done many canvases on chipboard. Oh, that might be a little too bulky. I'm just going to rip some of it off. Okay, so next what I want to do is I'm going to cover this entire thing with gesso. So I'm just going to do a really thin coat of gesso right over the top. And the reason I say thin coat is because I still want to see the patterns from below. I just don't want them to be the dominant thing on the layout. So I'm just making them a little more uniformed and making them work together just a little more than they would if I left them plain. This just kind of makes them all play nice together. And here's the best part. Because I covered this entire thing with gel medium, I can come back and wipe all of this off if the gel medium is dry whenever I start. Okay? So I'm just knocking all of this back. Isn't that gorgeous? It's starting to come together. And again, I'm not too worried about me having too much of this on my palette because I am going to probably end up using it all anyway, and I can always put it back in the jar. Now, look at how unified this all looks now. Okay, I'm going to dry this for just a second because I do want it to be a little drier than what it is. And while I'm drying it, I have this Cosmopolitan Pink from Lindy Stamp Gang. I'm going to shake it really well. Hi, Edith. I didn't see you sneak in. And right around where my cross is, I'm going to start spraying while I'm drying. But my sprayer is clogged. So I think what I might do is add, let me get this dry. It's clogged up. Have some in another palette. I loved this color because it has a pink hue to it, but it also has a really nice shimmer to it. What do I want to do? I have a paintbrush here. I'm just going to paint it on. And start adding just a little bit of color to all of this sea of white along where my cross is. Okay, I'm just going to follow that pattern and encourage that to bleed through to that tissue paper. And it looks like a giant mess right now, but I assure you, before it's all said and done, it's going to be amazing. So does anybody have any questions while I'm doing this? And this is just, the point of this tissue paper and the cross idea was really to give me a visual reference as well as some texture. Because I wanted, I have the worst time with white space. I have a terrible time with white space. And I always want to cover everything up. So this is going to help me keep my visual reference of where I'm going with my layout. You may not see this tissue paper, and that's okay if you don't, but it just gives me a nice visual reference. Does anybody have any questions? Let's let that roll and drip. We like drippage, right? So I'm just gonna lift that canvas up, bounce it a little bit, let it drip, and then I'm also gonna come back with my Old Faithful. Yes, I'm looking. Oh, we have a giveaway. We have a giveaway, so hang out till the end because we're going to give something away. Fantastic! We love giveaways. Okay, so this is the Heidi Swap Gold Lame. You have to be here to win, and it has to be, you have to stay till the end. How do you get a free catalog? Oh, we're giving away the Dynamite's large Ivy die. Oh, guys, I have that. You want to see what it looks like? We'll use it. We'll use it. You must be present to win. If you don't have gesso, yes, you can just use white acrylic paint. Just water it down a little bit. So this is what our canvas looks like at the moment. And I'm not going to dry it completely because I want to encourage some of that dripping that's going on. Okay? Everybody following me okay here? Isn't it gorgeous? Okay. I will show you, I promise, before it's over. Okay, so now I have all of this beautiful, beautiful bubble wrap here. I saved this from an amazing package. I'm sure I got it from Edith. I got some amazing stuff from her today. The new Tim Holtz stencils. Been wanting those so badly. Okay, so all I did was paint that gesso right onto that bubble wrap. And watch this. I'm going to plop it right down on top. Okay, I'm going to stay at a diagonal. And it's not going to keep a circular bubbly look. And that's okay. Because really all I'm trying to do is knock that color back down and just add a little more texture to my layout. A little more of this nice heat. Anybody have any questions? You want Timmy's new stencils? When I saw them go up, I had to have them. You guys know me. I'm one of those people who I spend my money on tools and mediums. I really do. Okay, so let's go with these. Look at how luscious this is. This is no, let's wait a minute. Let's do this first before we get too crazy into that. Here is the large die, the large ivy die from Dynamites that they're going to be giving away. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's a beautiful filler, and we will use it tonight since you told me that. Okay, now these stamps I got from the store, but before we use them, I want to do one more thing. We have this fence posts from this Fab Scraps. So if I can figure out how to get into this packaging, I think I have to cut it. Let me get some scissors. This is a trick that I think is super cool. Before we use this on the layout, we're going to use it as a stencil. Okay? And I am going to go ahead and cut away this border because I don't want to see it, for one thing. I don't want to accidentally put it on my project. And this is called the fence from Fab Scraps. And it's chipboard. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take my whipped spackle, and if you guys are not familiar with the whipped spackle, it is amazing. It is a modeling paste type consistency. It's super creamy, but the thing I like about it over modeling paste is that it does not flake, which I think is so awesome. And I'm just going to go right over my cross with this modeling paste, and I am going to add some of this amazing texture straight to my canvas using the stencil. So we're using this stencil in multiple ways tonight. Isn't that cool? Now look at that. The Stampenda stamps I got from Edith last month, I believe. They are awesome. I have used them so many times. Now, in addition to doing that, I'm going to put that aside and let it dry for just a minute. I am going to take my gesso and I'm going to dry brush it right over my, I'm not being super careful. I don't want it to be completely covered. I'm just giving it a nice coat over my stencil. Okay, and look at how beautiful that is. Let me wipe it up though, because I don't want it on here. So I'm just going to take some paint. I called that paint. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to just wipe that up. That was just water that I sprayed on that. And that's going to wipe it up. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to come back in here and I'm just going to rip pieces of this. I don't want it all, and I don't want it to be whole, and I don't want it to have a super uniformed look to it. So I'm going to regularly rip it, and then it's just place it right over. I'm going to use some hot glue on it, I think, because I really want it to stick. Anybody have any questions? Guys, I am flying by the seat of my pants. You hear me? Now, because I did it to this side, I think I want to do it over here to this side. And I'm just, not a lot. I don't want it to be a complete thing. Just maybe right in here. And like I said, I was probably going to cover up that tissue paper. I went through all that trouble to make it texture, but here's the thing, it's all part of the process. And if I cover it up, I cover it up, and if I don't, then I don't. Okay, now it's time to add a little more color. And I think I want to pull in, I have the yellows, I have the pinks. Let's pull in some blue. Or let's see, I have green. I have a little bit of this Idlewild Moss Green from Lindy Stamp Gang. I don't have a whole lot of it left. And let's just take it and spray it right in here. Come on. It's almost empty, so I think I